Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by life's chaos? Stick with me to uncover 10 powerful Stoic lessons that will forge unbreakable mental toughness in just 40 minutes. I often marvel at the resilience of ancient Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus, men who faced life's fiercest storms with unshakable calm. Seneca, a statesman in the treacherous courts of Rome, endured exile and political intrigue, yet his letters brim with clarity and peace. Epictetus, born a slave, rose to become a teacher of profound wisdom, showing that true freedom lies within the mind. These thinkers didn't just survive chaos, they mastered it through discipline and insight. Their teachings, forged in the crucible of hardship, offer a blueprint for enduring any challenge. Imagine navigating betrayal, loss, or uncertainty, yet standing firm as a rock against the tide. How can their timeless wisdom empower us to build such mental resilience today? As we grapple with our own modern struggles, let's turn to the Stoics for guidance, discovering how their principles can transform our inner world and armor us against life's unpredictability. As I look around today, I see so many of us caught in a whirlwind of modern life. We're bombarded by endless notifications, tight deadlines, and the pressure to keep up in a world that never seems to slow down. Mental overwhelm creeps in, manifesting as anxiety that grips us in the quiet moments, or a gnawing sense of losing control over our own lives. Our minds race with worries about the future, regrets from the past, and the constant noise of a distraction-filled society. It feels suffocating, doesn't it? But let's step back for a moment and consider this. Are we truly so different from those who lived thousands of years ago? In the ancient Roman world, people faced their own relentless pressures. Imagine the bustling streets of Rome, where senators like Seneca navigated political intrigue, soldiers endured the weight of war, and ordinary citizens grappled with uncertainty in an empire teetering on chaos. They, too, knew the burden of external demands and inner turmoil. Much like we do today, under the scorching forum sun or during sleepless nights, their minds wrestled with fears and doubts. Yet, in the midst of such storms, the Stoics found a way to stand firm. Their challenges mirror ours, perhaps not in form, but certainly in essence. The rapid pace of our digital age may be new, but the human struggle for peace and control is timeless. So, what can we learn from their ancient resilience to anchor ourselves in today's chaos? Let's explore how the weight of unchecked emotions and societal expectations continues to test us, just as it did long ago. As I reflect on the chaos of our modern lives, I can't help but see that many of us are caught in an invisible storm. We rush through endless notifications, societal expectations, and the pressure to always be on. But let's step back for a moment. Imagine walking through the bustling streets of ancient Athens, where merchants shouted over one another, politicians schemed, and the weight of public opinion pressed down like a heavy fog. Back then, just as now, unchecked emotions, anger at a slight, envy of a neighbor's success, or fear of failure could unravel even the strongest minds. These raw, unexamined feelings, fueled by the external noise of a judgmental society, shattered inner peace without mercy. It's strikingly similar to how we crumble under today's digital scrutiny or the race to meet impossible standards. We lose sight of our calm center when we let these forces dictate our mood and actions. The Athenians faced gossip in the agora. We face it on social media timelines. The pressure to conform, to react impulsively, erodes our tranquility just as it did centuries ago. Yet this parallel reminds us that the struggle is timeless, and so perhaps is the solution. As I reflect on the chaos of unchecked emotions and the unrelenting pressures of society, pressures that echo the noise of ancient Athens, I can't help but turn to a timeless source of wisdom, Stoic philosophy. This ancient school of thought, born in the heart of Greece and refined in the corridors of Rome, offers us a way to anchor ourselves amidst life's storms. Consider Seneca, a man who navigated treacherous political waters and personal loss with an unshakable calm. As a statesman and advisor, he faced exile, betrayal, and the whims of emperors like Nero. Yet he remained composed, steadfast in his inner peace. How did he do it? Stoicism taught him to focus on what he could control: his thoughts, his responses, his virtues, and to let go of what he couldn't. It wasn't about suppressing emotion, but mastering it, channeling it through reason. For us today, in a world of endless notifications and uncertainties, Seneca's example shines as a beacon. Stoicism isn't just ancient history. It's a practical toolkit for mental resilience. It promises a way to reclaim our calm, to stand firm against turmoil, just as Seneca did in the face of unrelenting challenges. And this philosophy isn't reserved for sages or scholars. It's for anyone willing to embrace its principles, to build a mind that doesn't break under pressure. So, let's prepare to dive into the heart of Stoic wisdom. I'm about to share 10 powerful lessons from this philosophy, each one a stepping stone on a transformative journey to unbreakable mental toughness. Together, we'll uncover how these ancient teachings can reshape our modern lives, guiding us to strength and serenity no matter what comes our way. As I reflect on the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, I can't help but see its profound relevance to our chaotic, modern lives. Just as Seneca navigated the treacherous waters of political intrigue and personal loss with unshakable calm, we too can find a steady anchor amid life's storms. Stoicism isn't just an ancient relic, it's a practical toolkit for building mental toughness, a way to fortify our minds against the unpredictable tides of today's world. Imagine facing setbacks, not with frustration, but with clarity. Confronting challenges, not with fear, but with purposeful resolve. This is the promise of Stoic teachings. Over the next few moments, I invite you to embark on a transformative journey through 10 powerful Stoic lessons. Each one is a stepping stone to an unbreakable mindset. a guide to reclaiming control over your inner peace, no matter the external chaos. From mastering how we perceive events, as Epictetus so brilliantly taught, to embracing life's impermanence, these lessons will reshape how you face adversity. Let's begin this path together, toward resilience, toward strength, toward a life of calm confidence. Are you ready to forge your mental toughness? As we embark on this transformative journey through Stoic wisdom, let's start with the first powerful lesson: mastering your perception. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." His teaching strikes at the heart of mental toughness. Events themselves are neutral. It's our interpretation that colors them with joy or pain. Imagine a world where a rainy day isn't a ruined plan, but a chance to stay in and reflect. This is the Stoic lens. We shape our reality through our thoughts. Epictetus, born a slave, yet unyielding in spirit, believed that while we can't control external circumstances, we can control how we see them. Let's bring this into our modern lives. Picture this: you've been passed over for a promotion at work. The initial sting is real. Disappointment floods in. But pause. Ask yourself, is this truly a defeat, or could it be a redirection? Perhaps it's a nudge to seek a role better aligned with your strengths, or a moment to build resilience by focusing on what you can improve. Reframing transforms setbacks into stepping stones. This isn't about ignoring pain, but about choosing not to let it define you. When we master our perception, we reclaim power over our inner world, no matter the chaos outside. As we move forward, this foundation will prepare us to tackle deeper challenges, like letting go of toxic bonds, which we'll explore next. Continuing from our exploration of mastering perception, let us now turn to a vital Stoic lesson drawn from the wisdom of Seneca: the art of letting go of toxic bonds to preserve our inner peace. I find myself reflecting on Seneca's teachings, where he urges us to be discerning about the company we keep. He believed that harmful relationships, those that drain our spirit or pull us away from virtue, must be released, for they threaten the tranquility of our minds. Imagine a ship weighed down by unnecessary cargo. Cutting it loose allows the vessel to sail freely. So too must we sever ties that burden our souls. In today's world, toxic bonds might appear as friendships that breed negativity, or professional connections that thrive on manipulation. I've observed how such ties can quietly erode our mental strength, leaving us frustrated or diminished. Seneca might ask us to examine whether a relationship aligns with our pursuit of wisdom and virtue. If it does not, we must courageously step away. So, how do we identify toxicity? First, notice how you feel after interacting with someone. Do you feel uplifted or drained? Second, consider if their actions consistently disrespect your boundaries or values. And third, Ask yourself if this bond hinders your growth toward a virtuous life. If the answer reveals harm, take actionable steps. Set clear boundaries. Communicate your needs with honesty. And, if necessary, distance yourself with grace. Letting go is not an act of weakness, but of strength. It's a commitment to safeguarding your mental fortress. A theme we'll build upon as we move to embracing what we can control. By releasing what poisons our peace, we create space for relationships that nurture our resilience and align with our highest good. Let's turn to one of the most liberating lessons from Stoic philosophy: accepting the uncontrollable. As Epictetus wisely taught, there are things within our power and things beyond it. Our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes, these we can shape. But the outcomes, the opinions of others, the twists of fate, these are not ours to command. We often exhaust ourselves wrestling with what we can't change, only to find frustration. I recall a story from a friend who poured everything into a dream job interview. They prepared meticulously, yet the company decided to hire internally at the last moment. Devastated at first, they felt like a failure. But then they paused and reflected on this Stoic principle. They realized the outcome wasn't in their hands, but their effort and growth were. By letting go of what they couldn't control, they redirected their energy to new opportunities, eventually finding a role that suited them even better. This is the Stoic way. Focus on your response, not the chaos around you. When life throws unexpected failures your way, ask yourself, what can I influence here? What must I release? This shift in mindset doesn't just ease pain, it builds resilience. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a master of your inner world. As we move forward, we'll see how this acceptance pairs beautifully with our next lesson on embracing rational thinking to guide us through life's storms. As we move forward from understanding how to accept the uncontrollable, let's turn to another cornerstone of Stoic wisdom: embracing rational thinking. I've often observed how easily our emotions can cloud our judgment, pulling us into impulsive decisions we later regret. The Stoics, like Seneca, taught that reason is our guiding star, a tool to navigate life's storms with clarity. They believed that by stepping back and analyzing a situation logically, we can strip away the chaos of fleeting feelings and see things as they truly are. Imagine you're faced with a heated argument at work. Your first instinct might be to lash out or retreat in frustration. But pause, ask yourself, what are the facts here? What can I control in this moment? By focusing on reason, you might realize the conflict isn't personal, but stems from a misunderstanding. This shift in perspective can transform your response from reactive to constructive. To counter emotional impulsivity in daily decisions, try this. Before acting, take a deep breath and list 3 objective observations about the situation. This simple act grounds you, helping reason take the lead over raw emotion. Another tip is to delay decisions when emotions run high. Give yourself a buffer of time, even just a few minutes, to let clarity emerge. The Stoics remind us that emotions aren't the enemy, they're signals. But letting them steer the ship can lead to disaster. By prioritizing rational thought, we build a steady foundation for mental toughness, preparing us to see challenges not as burdens, but as opportunities for growth, which we'll explore next. Let's turn to a powerful Stoic lesson that can reshape how we face life's hurdles, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. The ancient Stoics believed that obstacles aren't just barriers. They're the very material we use to build our character. As a student of their wisdom, I've come to understand that every difficulty carries a hidden gift, if we choose to look for it. Think of a Roman general like Scipio Africanus, who faced overwhelming odds against Carthage. Instead of shrinking in fear, he saw each battle as a chance to hone his strategy and inspire his troops. History tells us he turned near impossible odds into legendary victories, not by avoiding hardship, but by embracing it as a teacher. Now, apply this to our modern lives. Imagine losing a job, a gut punch, no doubt. But what if, like the Stoics, we view this as a forge for resilience, a chance to reinvent ourselves, to learn new skills, or to chase a dream we've long ignored? It's not about denying the pain. It's about asking, what can this teach me? The Stoics remind us that growth doesn't come from comfort. It blooms in struggle. So, the next time life throws a curveball, pause and consider, how can this shape me into a stronger version of myself? This mindset shift, rooted in ancient wisdom, prepares us for the next lesson, where we'll explore the power of daily reflection to bring clarity to our journey. As we've seen in the previous lesson on viewing challenges as opportunities, Stoic wisdom teaches us to transform obstacles into growth. Now, let's turn inward with another powerful practice, daily reflection. I've come to understand, through the teachings of ancient Stoic thinkers like Seneca, that introspection is a cornerstone of mental clarity and toughness. Seneca himself would often end his day by examining his actions, asking what he did well, where he faltered, and how he could improve. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about honest self-awareness, a way to align with virtue and purpose. In our modern rush, we often skip this vital step, letting days blur into one another without meaning. Yet, taking just a few moments to reflect can ground us, helping us see patterns in our thoughts and behaviors that either serve or hinder our growth. So here's a simple evening routine I found transformative. Before bed, sit quietly and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what went well today and why? Second, what could I have done better without judgment? And third, what is one thing I'll focus on improving tomorrow? Write these down if you can, or simply ponder them in silence. This practice, rooted in Stoic tradition, builds a bridge between who you are today and who you aspire to be. It clears the mental fog, sharpens your resolve, and prepares you for the next day with intention. As we move to our next lesson on living in the present, remember that reflection isn't about dwelling on the past, but using it as a stepping stone to stand firmer in the now. By looking inward each day, you cultivate a mind that's not just reactive, but deliberate, a mind fortified against life's storms. Let's turn our attention to a core Stoic principle that can truly transform how we experience life: living in the present. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca, often reminded us that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and all we truly have is this very moment, right now. I've often caught myself dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about what tomorrow might bring, and I suspect many of us do the same. But the Stoics teach that this mental wandering steals our peace. They urge us to anchor ourselves in the now, where we can act, think, and feel with clarity. Imagine the freedom of not being weighed down by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's anxieties. It's liberating. So how do we practice this? Let me share a simple mindfulness exercise inspired by Stoic thought. Wherever you are, take a deep breath and notice your surroundings. Feel the air on your skin. Hear the sounds around you. Observe the thoughts passing through your mind without judgment. Just be here. Ask yourself, what can I do in this moment to align with my values? This isn't about ignoring the future, but about realizing that the present is the only place where we can truly live. I find that even a few seconds of this practice can reset my focus, pulling me back from the chaos of overthinking. The Stoics believe that by mastering the present, we build a foundation for mental toughness, because we stop being slaves to time's endless pull. Let's carry this awareness forward as we explore more Stoic wisdom, recognizing that each moment is a chance to practice resilience, starting now. Having grounded ourselves in the present moment, let's now turn to a profound Stoic insight, embracing impermanence. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca, often meditated on the fleeting nature of life. They understood that everything, our possessions, our achievements, even our very existence, is temporary. This isn't meant to fill us with despair, but to free us from fear. When we accept that change is the only constant, we stop clinging to things we cannot keep. Imagine holding sand in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it slips away. So it is with life. By loosening our grasp, we find peace. Consider how often we're paralyzed by the fear of loss, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a missed opportunity. The Stoics teach us to rehearse this impermanence in our minds, to visualize loss before it happens. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. Seneca once wrote that we should live each day as if it were our last, not in dread, but with purpose. When I first practiced this, I felt a strange relief. Picturing the end of what I cherished made me value it more deeply while detaching from the anxiety of losing it. Try this tonight. Reflect on something you fear losing. Acknowledge its temporary nature and let that fear soften. This Stoic meditation on change reminds us that nothing lasts forever, and in that truth, there's liberation. As we release our grip on the impermanent, we're ready to fortify something enduring within us. Let's move to building an inner fortress, a citadel of resilience that no external change can shake. Let's turn inward now to Lesson 9. Build your inner fortress. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, often spoke of the concept of an inner citadel, a mental stronghold where no external chaos can penetrate, a sanctuary of resilience and virtue that remains unshaken, no matter the storms outside. I find this idea profoundly empowering. Imagine a fortress within your mind, built on principles of wisdom and self-control, where you retreat when life feels overwhelming. This isn't about escaping reality, but fortifying yourself to face it with unbreakable strength. So how do we cultivate this inner citadel? First, commit to daily reflection. Spend a few quiet moments each evening assessing your actions and thoughts, asking if they align with your core values. Secondly, practice detachment from external validation. Remind yourself that praise or criticism from others cannot dismantle your inner peace unless you allow it. Lastly, anchor yourself in virtue. Let honesty, courage, and kindness be the bricks of your fortress. When I started building my own inner citadel, I noticed a shift. Setbacks still came, but they no longer rattled me. As we prepare to explore our final lesson, remember that this mental stronghold is your foundation, a place to stand firm no matter what life throws your way. As we reach the final lesson in our journey through Stoic wisdom, let's reflect on the ultimate source of mental toughness: virtue. I've come to see that true strength isn't found in wealth, status, or external achievements. Instead, as the Stoics taught, it arises from living a life rooted in moral excellence, courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline. Seneca once wrote that the only true good is a virtuous soul, untouched by the fleeting temptations of material gain. Imagine a life where your inner compass guides you, unshaken by society's pressures or the lure of superficial rewards. This is the Stoic ideal. When I think of mental toughness, I picture someone who stands firm in their principles, even when the world around them crumbles. Virtue isn't just a noble idea, it's a shield. It protects us from despair when we lose what we thought defined us, reminding us that our worth lies in how we act, not what we own. Consider a time when you chose integrity over convenience. Didn't that choice, though hard, fill you with a quiet strength? That's the power of virtue. As we've built our inner fortress in the previous lesson, let this be the foundation, a commitment to goodness above all else. It's not easy, but it's enduring. Unlike possessions that fade, virtue lasts. So, I urge you to ask yourself, what small act of virtue can you practice today? Perhaps it's honesty in a difficult conversation, or patience in a moment of frustration. These choices forge an unbreakable spirit, one that no external force can shatter. As we move forward, let's draw inspiration from a remarkable story of resilience, where virtue turned hardship into triumph. But for now, hold this truth close. Mental toughness isn't about dominating others or accumulating more. It's about mastering yourself through a life of virtue. As we reflect on the Stoic principle that true strength comes from virtue, let me share with you a remarkable story of Epictetus, a man whose life embodies unbreakable mental freedom. Born into slavery in the Roman Empire, Epictetus faced a reality of utter powerlessness, a life dictated by the whims of others. Yet, within the chains of his physical bondage, he discovered a profound truth. While his body could be controlled, his mind remained his own. Drawing on Stoic teachings, he trained himself to focus solely on what was within his power, his thoughts, his reactions, his inner resolve. Even as a slave, he cultivated a mental fortress, unshaken by cruelty or hardship, imagining himself free through the lens of his own perception. When Epictetus eventually gained his freedom, his philosophy only deepened. He taught that happiness and strength are not found in external fortunes, but in the disciplined mastery of one's own mind. Facing immense adversity, he chose to see every hardship as a test of character, a chance to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. His life became a living testament to Stoic ideals, proof that even in the darkest of circumstances, we can forge an unshakable inner peace. This is the pinnacle of mental toughness, to remain steadfast, not because life is kind, but because we have chosen to be so, regardless of the storms around us. Epictetus's journey from slavery to philosophical greatness reminds us that true freedom begins within, and no external force can ever take that away. As I reflect on Epictetus's incredible journey, from a life of enslavement to becoming a beacon of mental freedom through Stoic wisdom, I can't help but wonder, what chains are holding us back today? Perhaps it's not physical captivity, but the weight of stress, self-doubt, or endless worry about things beyond our control. Epictetus taught us a profound lesson. We may not choose our circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Imagine applying this principle right now. Think of a struggle you're facing. Maybe it's a setback at work, a conflict in a relationship, or a fear of the future. What if, like Epictetus, you shifted your perspective? Instead of seeing this hardship as a burden, view it as a test of your resilience. Ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? Focus there and let go of the rest. I challenge you to take this Stoic lesson and act on it today. Pick one thing, perhaps a frustration or fear, and reframe it. Write down 3 ways you can respond with strength rather than despair. The simple act is the first step to transforming struggle into power. Just as Epictetus did centuries ago, let his story remind us that mental toughness isn't about avoiding pain. It's about facing it with unshakable calm. So, what will you reframe today? The choice is yours. Now let us imagine for a moment the profound transformation that awaits when these 10 Stoic lessons become woven into the fabric of your life. Picture yourself waking each day with a serene clarity, unshaken by the storms of uncertainty that swirl around you. Challenges that once loomed like mountains now appear as mere stepping stones, for you've mastered the art of perception, seeing events not as burdens, but as opportunities to grow. Your heart remains steady, untouched by fleeting emotions or external chaos, because you've embraced what's within your control and released the rest. Relationships are no longer a source of turmoil. You've let go of toxic bonds and nurtured connections grounded in virtue. Each decision you make is guided by reason, each obstacle met with a quiet strength, for you've built an inner fortress that no hardship can breach. You live fully in the present, unafraid of life's impermanence, finding peace in the fleeting beauty of each moment. This is a life of calm confidence, of unbreakable resilience, where deep inner peace is your constant companion. Imagine facing every trial with the unshakable resolve of a Stoic, knowing that true strength lies not in fleeting triumphs, but in the virtuous life you've crafted day by day. This vision is not a distant dream, but a reality within reach, built on the wisdom of those who walked this path millennia ago. As we reflect on this, let it inspire us to take that first step, to embody these lessons, and to trust that each effort brings us closer to such a life. As I contemplate the transformative power of these Stoic lessons, I'm reminded that mental toughness is not a destination reached in a single day, nor is it a gift bestowed upon us by chance. It's a craft, forged through deliberate, consistent practice of timeless principles. Think of it as building a fortress, brick by brick, within your mind. Each moment you choose to master your perception, let go of toxic bonds, or embrace the uncontrollable, you lay another stone in that unbreakable wall of resilience. I've seen how easy it is to fall back into old habits, to let frustration or doubt creep in when life's storms hit hardest. But Stoicism teaches us patience. It urges us to view each setback as a lesson, each day as a new chance to align with virtue. I invite you to commit to this journey, not with fleeting enthusiasm, but with steady resolve. Start small. Focus on one lesson that resonates with you most. Practice it daily, whether it's reflecting at night or anchoring yourself in the present. And watch how, over time, your inner strength becomes unshakable. This path isn't quick, but it's enduring. Will you walk it with courage? Let this ancient wisdom guide you step by step toward a life of calm and unbreakable resilience. As we draw this journey to a close, let's reflect on the 10 Stoic lessons that can forge unbreakable mental toughness within us all. First, mastering our perception, as Epictetus taught, reminds us to reframe challenges. Second, letting go of toxic bonds preserves our peace. Third, accepting the uncontrollable frees us from wasted worry. Fourth, embracing rational thinking guides our decisions. Fifth, seeing challenges as growth transforms obstacles into strength. Sixth, daily reflection brings clarity. Seventh, living in the present anchors us. Eighth, embracing impermanence eases fear. Ninth, building an inner fortress shields our virtue. And finally, living with virtue reveals true strength. These ancient teachings, born from the wisdom of thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus, show us that real toughness comes not from external victories, but from within, It's a quiet power, cultivated through consistent practice. Let their timeless wisdom inspire you to build a resilient mind, ready for life's storms. Which Stoic lesson resonated with you most? Share in the comments below and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom to build your mental toughness. Which Stoic lesson resonated with you most? Share in the comments below and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom to build your mental toughness.